In this video, we're going to learn about different writing tips regarding IELTS exam. So we're going to focus more on the writing tips regarding an essay, the IELTS way. So let's proceed. Usually, the essay is actually the second writing task in an IELTS exam. Okay? So the parts of an essay, the first one is an introduction. Your introduction is a paragraph long followed by the body. The body composes the contents of your essay, the bulk of your essay. So it must be 2 to 3 paragraphs. And then the last one is conclusion. It must have 2 paragraphs only. Now, the total number of words for your essay is at least 250 words. Remember, you're going to do your essay task for only 40 minutes. So we have different types of essay. The first one is the argument. For the argument, the topics that presents an argument, we're going to call it as a, you need to explore pros and cons of something. I repeat, for an argument, you're going to explore pros and cons of something. Okay? And then you're going to state the reasons for or against, and you're going to support only one side. So let's say, for example, we have this one. Modern society benefit greatly from computer technology. However, becoming more dependent on computers has its disadvantages. Describe the threats of computers. As you can see here, there are two sides to the argument as advantages and disadvantages to computer. So if we're going to make an argument essay, the introduction part, okay, the paragraph must clearly state the argument, both sides of it. Do not simply copy the topic from instruction. Write it in other words. Don't give your opinion. Save it for later. The second one is the body. Okay? The body has 2 paragraphs, must refer to each side of argument. Write first the paragraph about the side you disagree with. Okay? I repeat, for the body part, for the first paragraph for the body part, it contains the side you disagree with. The second one is the side you do agree. Okay. The second paragraph must be the side you do agree with, should be in the last body paragraph because this way it naturally leads to the conclusion. Okay. And then the third one, as the conclusion, the paragraph should contain summary of the points you were making. Never mind if the paragraph turns out to be short. The important thing is that you kept the structure of the essay. So the second one is the form of the hidden argument essay. The introduction paragraph must define the question. You need to reveal the hidden argument. Rewrite the topic so it will say what it really means. Say, for example, from quote unquote, to what extent something affects. So you're going to rewrite it to does something affect? And then the other one as from quote unquote, in what way something contributes? You're going to write it to does something contribute? And then lastly, we have how does something influence? You're going to write it to does something influence? Now, it became an argument with two sides, and you write essay of kind A. Now we have hidden arguments. Okay? Two topics that present a hidden argument, we call it H. For the argument, okay, you're going to use A. For a hidden argument, you're going to use H. These topics usually ask to what extent, how has something changed, in what way. Say, for example, to what extent should television participate in our children's education? What they are really asking here is whether television should educate children or not. So the third type is the situation. Topics that present a situation, we're going to use S, okay? And you need to explore seasons because it's situation. Why it is what it is, assume what will happen in the future, and even suggest solution to the problem if there was any. Say, for example, due to the change of women's role in the society, are now suffering from sexual discrimination. Do you agree? Here, you can see the description of education and write what you think about it. So we have a form for each situation essay. For the introduction part, the paragraph must state the situation and explain it. Don't give your opinion here, okay? For the introduction paragraph, no opinion. You're not going to use your opinion, okay? For the body part, body paragraphs, at least two paragraphs, okay, should describe the reasons that lead to the situation, making it like it is now. Each paragraph should talk about one reason. And lastly, the conclusion paragraph should summarize the points of the essay. If the task requires suggesting solutions to problems, recommendations, advice, this is the place for it. If your opinion is required, you should also give it in the conclusion paragraph. So we have the general suggestions. Write on given topic directly. Don't slide to another theme. Write in general, not about your personal experiences, but what is going on in the world. And lastly, read task instructions and write about every little thing that is requested. If the task requires suggesting solution, do it. Don't forget to give recommendations or advice if requested, otherwise not. So we have baby steps through the essay. The first, read and classify the question. You need to decide what kind of topic you have got an A for argument, H for hidden argument, or S for situation. It will affect the way you plan your essay. Say, for example, on your IELTS exam, you're given with this. Homeschooling belongs to the past and is unacceptable in the modern society. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Use your own knowledge and experience and support for your arguments with examples and relevant evidence. We can clearly see a hidden argument here by revealing the real meaning of the topic. We get, quote unquote, is homeschooling acceptable in modern society? This way, it becomes an A topic or an argument topic with two sides for and against home education. The second, here you need to come up with ideas, thoughts, and opinions on the given topic. The best way to do it is to think of some main ideas and then to write everything you can think of regarding those ideas. In case you are working on an essay of argument or hidden argument, A or H kind, these ideas are opposite sides of the argument. If you are working on an essay of kind S, it is the reasons for the situation to be what it is. Say, for example, let's say that after some thinking, you came up with the following ideas and your opinion is against the education at home. Okay. If you are in favor of education at home, you're going to list as following. Parents know their children. Learning is more enjoyable. Children feel safe. If you are against for education at home, okay, You're going to list your key points as no scientific approach like associative learning. And the second one as not every parent is capable. And third one as parents forgot the material. Now, you should think what goes where in your essay. On the same draft paper, you have written the ideas, group them, and decide which paragraph will describe which idea. If the topic is an argument, type A. Remember to put side you don't agree with first and the side you do agree with as second. Okay? Why is it in this form? As the first body as the idea you don't agree with, and the second one as the idea you agree with. The second one is the idea you agree with because it leads to the conclusion. Think how you move from one paragraph to another. There should be a connective logical sentence that drives you towards the next paragraph's topic. It should look like this. So we have the following example as, okay, remember that in your body, the first paragraph is the part whereas the side you disagree with. As parents know their children, learning is more enjoyable. Children feel safe. Okay? This is the side you don't agree with. Okay? Remember, the key points on your first paragraph is the side you don't agree with. Now let's proceed with the second body paragraph as the side you do agree with. Okay? From the previous slide, one listed as no scientific approach and associative learning. Okay? In addition with this, on your third paragraph is again the side you do agree with. Okay? Although from case to case basis on your IELTS exam for the second body paragraph, you may combine both the second and third as the side you do agree with. Now let's state this as not every parent is capable. Parents forgot the material. Okay? Remember that your second and third body paragraph, okay, leads to the conclusion paragraph. Baby steps through the essay. Let's proceed. Okay. Third, it is time to write the answer. According to the plan, you have to start writing the essay. First sentence of the introduction gives the main idea of the essay. Okay. For the introduction, it gives the main idea of the essay, either presenting sides of the argument or describing a situation. The last sentence, if the introduction should naturally leads into the first paragraph of the body, remember to keep the paragraph structure and to connect paragraphs so that one leads to another. Okay. I repeat, for the body part, if you are given with argument, okay, the body part, the first paragraph is the idea of the side you don't agree. Okay. And then the second or third paragraph for the body part of an argument, you're going to include, okay, the side you agree. Why are we going to do this way? The second and third paragraph leads to the fourth paragraph, which is your conclusion. Okay. So this is important. Try to start body paragraphs with linking words such as the following conjunctions, okay, listed here as however, therefore, moreover, nevertheless, and the like. It raises your score. I repeat, on your IELTS exam, you're going to use on the body paragraphs as these conjunctions listed as however, therefore, moreover, and nevertheless. Now, let's proceed with this long example. This is an essay written according to the ideas came up with. The ideas are in bold font for easier understanding. Okay, your key ideas, I repeat, in this slide, the ideas are in bold font for easier understanding. Now let's proceed. Everything has two sides and homeschooling is not an exception. In the past, it seemed like the most natural way of educating the children, but today many people criticize it. Okay, so this is the introduction. It relates to the idea of the argument. Now let's proceed with the following body. Okay, we have the second, third, and fourth paragraph. Or if we're going to use body paragraph, this is the first body paragraph, the second body paragraph, and the third body paragraph. Remember from our previous slide, the first body paragraph is the idea where you don't agree. I repeat, the idea you don't agree. And for the second body paragraph and the third paragraph, these are the ideas where the sides you agree. Okay, you're going to list this as the sides you agree because it leads to the conclusion, which is the last paragraph of this essay. Now let's proceed with the body. The first paragraph is the side we don't agree as we must acknowledge that parents know their children best. That gives them a good chance of knowing how to make child understand certain concepts. Using child's interests, parents can make a process of learning more enjoyable and effective. In addition, being at home makes child feel safe, which contributes to his ability to concentrate on studying. So the bold italicized letters here are actually the listed main ideas for the disagreements on your essay. Okay? Now let's proceed with the second and third body paragraph. This is the side you agree. Nevertheless, many people believe that teaching should be done by professionals. There are many proven scientific approaches that produce good results, and without those techniques, parents who teach their kids at home have no chance of success. Okay? Associative learning is a good example of such a technique, showing the child images while learning the alphabet. Apple for A, boy for B, makes him or her remember the letters faster and easier. Also, not every parent is capable of teaching his or her child at home because the blind cannot lead the blind. Parents cannot teach the children something they don't know themselves. And let's face it, not all of us have profound knowledge of history or geography, even on a school textbook level. Eventually, even those moms and dads who had succeeded at school could forget the material as the time went by. Okay, I repeat on the second, third paragraph, as you can see, the bold italicized fonts here of letters, scientific approaches, associative learning. Not every parent is capable and forget the material. These are the listed or enumerated key points for the side to which the essay writer agree with. Okay. Now let's proceed with the conclusion. In conclusion, I have more trust in abilities and experience of professional teachers than I do in my own. Okay. Now let's proceed with the next slide. Okay. Those essay writing must be done within a time frame of 40 minutes only. Exceeding that, perhaps you will lead to a failed exam. Almost no one can get their first essays done on time. So don't be disappointed. If it takes you an hour or even longer, first try to get used to the baby steps processes that I explained earlier. After a little bit of practice, you will start writing essays faster and faster. And finally, you will reach your goal in 40 minutes. You should work with the clock all the time. This is only way for you to monitor your progress. So on this slide, we're going to discuss about the helpful phrases for your essays. Let's start. Phrases to show two sides of arguments. Okay. Say, for example, some people prefer those who disagree points out that. Okay? So we need to add this phrase as not only, but also. We must acknowledge, nevertheless. No one can deny, however. Many people hold the opinion, others, however, disagree. Although it is hard to compete with, some people still prefer, with their corresponding as also, furthermore, in addition, moreover. Phrases for conclusion. So we have the following list as lastly. Okay? For conclusion, you're going to use either lastly, finally, to conclude with, in short, or in conclusion itself. For results, usually figures, you're going to use the following as a result, therefore, thus, so, and eventually. Phrases, for example, so kindly use the following as for example, for instance, in particular, such as, and to illustrate. Phrases to deny what was said before. You're going to use, or you may use the following as although, however, nevertheless, even if, in spite of, on the other hand. Finally, what you need to do is practice, 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 practice. My advice would be practice on essays as much as you can. Your goal is to be able to write an essay of 250 words in 40 minutes on any given topic. The topic doesn't matter. The important thing is that you know and implement the technique you've learned. So for those of you who want to migrate on first world countries who don't take chances, follow list of topics similar to those you will get in Ielts. Practice with the clock and count words. Enjoy. Now that ends my presentation for writing tips for an essay during an IELTS exam. For other academic videos, you may click the next recommended video. Thank you for listening.